Hi folks, people have been talking about this coup in Niger. What are the motivation for the coup? Who were the planners of the coup? Who influenced the coup? Who sponsored the coup? And all the kind of discussions that have dominated political space. What were the motivation of the coup plotters? Who planned the coups? Who influenced the coup? Yes. So these are issues that people have been asking about coup. But my question is, can Africa avoid coups? Can Africa avoid coups with the way the African political elites carry themselves, with the way they live, with the reckless life they live, with the way they abandon the people who give them mandate? Can Africa avoid coup? Can the populace continue to watch the opulent splendor with which the reckless elites are living? Can they continue to watch while they are crying and hungry, deprived of so many things, frustrated, being forced to migrate from their country to traverse the Sahara Desert, where many of them died? Can the populace of Africa continue this? Whereas there is wealth on their land that is being colonized by local elites. Can they continue? And you ask why there are coups in Africa? Look at the situation in Nigeria right now, where the Senate, the senators who earn over 27 million every month, they are still being given bribe to go and enjoy their holiday. Enjoy holiday perquisite, which the president of the Senate has nicknamed prayers. Now, with all this, in the midst of hardship, where people are crying of hunger, they can't pay hospital bill, they can't pay school fees of their children, there is no NEPA, nothing is working for them, and these people whom they voted for are reigning in opulent splendor. So now, when people are agitating, when they are crying, and nobody seems to be hearing their cry, can you beat a child and forbid him from crying? So this is the issue. If Africa must avoid coup, if Africa must avoid Arab Spring, then African leaders, rather than going to Niger to say we want to restore this, we want to restore that, why not look inward? Why not look into why there is problem in Africa? Why not solve this existential problem that the ordinary Nigerians are facing? Why don't you solve this existential threat that is facing ordinary Africans, whose countries have monumental wealth and yet they don't see anything and they are hungry? Why don't you solve that? You think you can go and restore somebody? You think you can go and forestall any coup that is already... I mean, you can't stop a moving train. This thing that is happening is socially combustible and it has vociferous tendencies. It's spreading, especially in this world of internet. People now are aware of what is happening. Look at the Nigerian Senate, for instance, not even having any human feeling about what is happening around them. One thing that even pains me so much, although I'm not pained, I'm not shocked, but it surprised some people. The representatives of a Labour Party, those who gave us the tendency, or who made us feel that, look, with the government of Labour, they are going to make a change and all that, they all took this bribe without anybody saying anything. Have you heard anybody protesting or saying, no, I will not take this because I belong to Labour Party, or I will not take this because I belong to PDP Party? No. When it comes to sharing of loot, they are all one. This is the problem with ordinary Nigerian and African. So you want to go and stop a moving train in Niger? Then there are so many things happening. And some are even banding the theory that maybe the place is just an opportunity for international politics to play itself out. That is the East-West confrontation and all that. This is a proxy war and all that. Look, if there is no hole in the wall, ant, all those, the ant cannot enter. Insect cannot enter if there is no hole. But if there are holes already in your walls, insect will enter. Yes. They can bring out people who are disgruntled and begin to foment trouble. Before you know it, while the trouble is brewing and even ongoing, so they will continue to milk our mineral and natural resources like it has always been. Africa, this is time to wake up. Can Africa avoid coup? The only way they can avoid coup and disgruntlement is by looking inward and being compassionate. Rule with compassion. Yes, feed your people. Give them joy. Don't steal all the money. Be forward looking. Do things that will make the lives of average African meaningful, not as it is now. If you continue the way you are continuing and you think that there will be no African spring, maybe the ECOWAS member, it's another theory, that the ECOWAS member, all this bravado they are doing is to protect themselves against what is happening in Niger. You cannot protect yourself against it if you do not do the needful. You have to do the needful. And the needful is that solve the people's problem. It's not rocket science. The money you are using to bribe the legislators and all these things, and the money people have stolen in the country, if you recoup them, if you take them back and spend it in the people's lives, even the opposition will praise you. And right now, they have made our president the chairman of ECOWAS. We are talking about the subsidy remover. So the proceeds of this subsidy remover now will be used to prosecute war that does not belong to Nigeria. You see our problem? They made you chairman of ECOWAS, you are happy. What about the responsibility they are in? Two heads of state of Africa rejected that position because they knew their economies were not buoyant enough to shoulder the responsibility of being ECOWAS president. And there you shoulder it. With all the problems at home, people are crying, people are dying, and yet you are taking over the chairmanship of ECOWAS as if that was not even enough. You now want to go and prosecute war. Come on. You can't continue to take Nigeria for a ride. At least prove the skeptics wrong. Those who think you cannot do it, prove them wrong. But even those who voted for you now, you are shaming them. We need action now. We need action. People are hungry. People need to be fed. People cannot pay the school fees of their children. They need to pay it. People are running away from the country. They need to stay and develop the country. But you have to create an enabling environment. Yes. Can Africa avoid coup? That is the topic of the day. I want you to ponder over it and leave your comment on the comment page. I remain Professor Nebulous from Point Blank. Thank you. As usual, I come in peace.
Hi folks, you see what I'm talking about? I heard, though unconfirmed yet, that ECOWAS has a standby force in Niger right now to prosecute war. But I want to ask you a question. What's our strategic, interest in Niger? Is Nigeria under any threat? Are we facing any imminent threat from Niger? What is our national interest there? Is it a personal interest that somebody is masquerading for national interest? Why should we go and war? And when we talk about ECOWAS, we are more or less talking about Nigeria, because we contribute almost 70% of what sustains ECOWAS today. And this Nigeria that is standing on one leg, because people are already squeezed. There is hunger in the land, there is deprivation in the land, there is frustration in the land, there is anger in the land, everything bad. and negative is in the land right now, and you want to prosecute war. That's why some of us are saying it is better to jaw than to war. And jawing simply means that you come out clean, be transparent with what Nigeria is generating, especially from the so-called trumpeted, oil subsidy. If it is this oil subsidy money you now want to use to prosecute war, what will be left to take care of the Nigerian people? We have troubles on our hand already. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. We have the southeast security issues. We have Boko Haram. We have the bandits. Then we have internal problems here and there that are occasioned by mismanagement of previous government, and your government doesn't seem to hold any promise either. And you want to go and prosecute war? Where will this leave the Nigerian people? Do not forget that those who went to Libya the other day, who went to fight, the mercenaries, they are still with their small weapons. They are still roaming everywhere in the West African coast. So when all these things come together, and we have serious war on our hand, and we call ourselves Giant of Africa, the Giant of Africa is in confusion. Where will the rest of Africa run to? Where will they run to, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu? What pressure are you under? I've said this thing is not rocket science. What you need to do is to focus inward. Spend the money on your people. Let them have a sense of belonging. Instead of spending the scarce resources that we have now to go and prosecute war, whoever is pushing you wants to blackmail you. Whoever, if there is anybody pushing you, wants to blackmail you. I have told you that the only defense you have against coup, against insurrection, whatever, is good government. That's all. Good government, and come out clean. Be transparent with the people of Nigeria. We can't afford this war. A word is enough for the wise. We can't afford the war that you are trying to prosecute now, because you only know the beginning of war, you don't know the end. War has this physical tendency, it has domino effect. It will spread everywhere. Where do you want Nigerians to run to? Where do they run to? Some of you have options. You can run away, you can jet out, your children, your family. But what about ordinary people who are hungry now? Where would they run to if you prosecute this war? Don't forget there are some people who are just waiting for this war to start so that, there is so much of guns, more arms all over Nigeria right now. And if you pull this trouble upon yourself, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, I don't know whether there will be Nigeria again. That's why we are warning. It is better to jaw than to war. And you must come out clean and show Nigerians that you are really there to help them. Do not share the money that you need to give good life to Nigerians to go and prosecute any war, because others may be goading you, oh yeah, we must do. How much are they contributing? Other members of the ECOWAS, how much are they contributing? How much? In terms of money, in terms of manpower, in terms of soldiers, how much? I mean, look at it, look at the ratio. It's essentially Nigeria. So that is why we are saying you must not prosecute that war. We have enough on our hand. Feed your people. A word is enough for the wise.